Good evening, everyone. I'm Randolph.
I'm JD.
And welcome to another episode of Tara Usap Tayo. Before we begin, we would like to thank our partners, The Coffee Concept and Pancho's Lab. So Coffee Concept is an online shop that offers a variety of coffee and teas. Okay, so kung namomroblema kayo, kung wala kayong coffee maker, don't be worried, don't be alarmed, because Coffee Concept has this drip coffee product. So hindi nyo kailangan ng coffee maker, and you could enjoy their coffee, their organic and quality sourced coffee. So marami na silang varieties. Meron silang coffee galing sa Ethiopia, sa Indonesia. So if you're interested, you could reach them via Facebook. You just have to search Coffee Concept.
So magandang pares ng coffee, no, from Coffee Concept is the pastries from Pancho's Lab. So they offer pastries, different bread, no, and you can also search them on Facebook, Pancho's Lab. Okay, so today, our episode ngayon is very special because we have very special guests. These are our colleagues in the academe. They were our classmates and then our colleagues then ngayon, fellow educators.
Yes.
No? So, let's introduce them, Randolph.
Okay, so our first guest is Jerry Pineda. He's currently a graduate student in Ateneo de Manila University. What are you taking, Jerry?
I'm currently taking Master in Science Education.
Okay, so pero nagtuturo din si Jerry before. Saan ka nga ulit nagtuturo?
Yung last school ko kung saan ako nagturo is in De La Salle University Integrated School.
Okay, that's nice. How about our next guest?
So our next guest naman is si Miss Rishaline Manalang. Okay, so she's also teaching now at the Basic Education. Saan ka ulit magtuturo, ma'am?
Hello everyone. I'm currently teaching at Immaculate Conception at Academy Hills.
Thank you.
And our last guest is Mr. Denedic Menor. He's also an educator. Medyo hybrid ang kanyang specialties kasi siya ay isang basic ed teacher at isa rin siyang college professor. So, medyo maganda ang perspective na makukuha natin sa kanya kasi he has two perspectives from DepEd and from CHED. Please introduce yourself, Mr. Denedic.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Yun nga, I'm Denedic Menor. I currently teach in the Basic Education Department at the St. Bernadette College of Alabang.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. So, special ang episode namin. Hindi lang kami dalawa ni JD ang nag-uusap. Meron kaming tatlong magagaling na guests. So, our topic for tonight, medyo recent and medyo, we can say it's controversial in a way because the topic that we will be discussing is about the postponement of the opening of classes. So, alam naman natin lahat na pinostpone ng Department of Education ang opening of classes from August 24 to October 5. Now, a bit of background kung bakit nangyari yun. Originally, the planned opening of classes was June 1 since it's the first Monday of June. But dahil nga sa pandemic na nangyayari, minove ito ng August 24. But at August 14, 2020, around 1 p.m., biglang nagkaroon ng announcement that the opening of classes would be postponed to October 5, 2020.
So, the legal basis for this one is, una-una sa lahat, no, there are laws na nagsasabi na dapat mag-umpisa talaga ang classes ng first Monday of June. But because of Republic Act 11480, nirevise yung RA 7797 ng Section 3 wherein doon nakalagay kung kailan nga ba mag-o-open ang classes. It states there that the president, so section 3, the school year shall start on the first Monday of June, but not later than last day of August, provided that in the event of declaration of state of emergency or state of calamity, the president, upon the recommendation of the Secretary of Education, may set a different date for the start of school year in the country or parts thereof. So this is the section 3 of RA 7797 na nasa RA 11480. So ito ay this was submitted June 1, 2020, and it was signed by President Rodrigo Duterte last July 2020. So it gave him the power on opening the classes upon recommendation of the department, the Secretary of the Department of Education. So, nung August, so it was established no, na since it's calamity, we're experiencing a pandemic, August 24 ang initial date na dapat mag-open ang classes sa Department of Education. At nag-announce na din that DepEd was also firm about this during the first week of August. Okay? But in August 14, DepEd, the Palace and DepEd announced that yung opening na August 24 ay mamumove sa October 5. So we have here our, of course, guests now to help us understand yung implications na maaaring nagdulot nito o yung maaaring maidulot ng pag-move ng classes. So may we ask insights from our fellow educators, starting off with our first guest, Mr. Jerry Pineda.
Una, yung reasons behind the movement ng opening ng classes from August 24 to October 5, dun sa mga articles na pinublish ng DepEd sa kanilang FB page, nakalagay doon na ang first consideration nila ay because of yung health concerns ng teachers and sa students and even parents, di ba? Kasi sabi nga doon, parang may post sila doon na risky kapag nag-deliver na ng modules sa bawat bahay ng bata. So, tapos i-accept din yung teachers ulit kapag natapos ng modules. So, possible transmission ng virus. So, tapos, yun yung parang pinaka-major reason parang dun sa nabasa kong article, pinaka-major reason ni Duterte kung bakit siya nag-declare agad na i-move yung klase. Kasi nga, dahil sa reason na yun. Tapos pangalawa, meron dun din article na sinasabing nung August 6, nagkaroon na ng recommendation si Briones na i-move naman yung klase from August 24 to a later date. Hindi in-specify din kung ano talaga yung exact date, kung October 5 ba or kung kailan. So, ang nakalagay naman doon, dahil naman sa kakulangan ng mga gamit and resources and sa logistical aspect nung pag-open ng klase. So, parang doon sa dalawang reasons na nabanggit, hindi ko alam, parang ang idea ko is hindi ako ganoon ka-convinced kung bakit bigla na lang nagkaroon ng changes ng klase. Parang ang idea kasi parang second reference lang ang recommendation ng DepEd. Di ba nga base sa batas na kakapasa lang, dapat major source of the recommendation ay DepEd Secretary. Yeah. Pero ang highlight sa reason kung bakit October 5, kung bakit minove from August 24 to October 5 ay yung reason ni Duterte na dahil nga daw sa health concerns. Hindi naman yun yung highlight ng recommendation ni Briones. Ang highlight ng kanyang recommendation ay logistical problem. So, medyo hindi lang, parang somehow hindi siya logical sa akin at hindi ganoon ka nag-match yung reason behind that. Kaya, though ako naman, parang agree naman ako na buti minove kasi sobrang dami pang problema, lalo na sa public school system. Hirap na hirap talaga silang kumuha ng, mahirap na hirap silang mag-deliver ng klase nila kasi ang daming pinapagawang, ang daming pinapagawa sa kanila, ang daming pinipilit na paraan, kaya pati mga teachers nahihirapan, lalo na sa public schools.
Yes. Actually, no, you mentioned a while ago, August 6, nag-recommend si Dr. Briones sa President na i-move ang classes. But I think August 9 or August 10, August 9, nagbigay pa rin ng statement ang DepEd na August 24 ang opening ng classes. So, medyo nakakaano nga siya, nakakalito yung timeline ng ano nila, ng discussion. At saka ang isang malaking tanong din dyan, sino ba talaga ang magbababa ng decision when it comes to opening of classes?
Ayun nga. Yun yung parang questionable sa akin, sa part ko, kasi may batas naman, so dapat fina-follow talaga natin siya.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pineda, for that.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Jerry. So to share a bit of experience, yes, totoo, nagkakaroon ng problema in terms of logistics and health sa department ngayon, sa basic ed. Kasi unang-una, dahil nga bago ang sistema. Well, ewan ko kung paano sa ibang ewan ko sa ibang division or sa ibang region. Pero kasi ang nangyayari ngayon dito sa division namin ay parang naging doble yung needed teachers. Kasi syempre, hiwalay yung students ng modular, kasi hiwalay yung students ng online. So, medyo naging doble yung load. And aside from that, health-wise, merong reports na lumabas na there are teachers who contracted the virus or contracted the disease during the yung
reporting.
Reporting, pagdi-distribute ng modules. And another problem is that yung modules nga medyo nagkakaproblema nga sa copyright issues. Medyo merong ibang modules na nakitaan ng butas sa copyright. So, hindi siya pwedeng i-release sa public school system because of copyright law. So, yun. So, it's medyo, it's good, I can say, na minove ang ating opening of classes. How about our other guests? What are your insights about the postponement of the opening of classes? So, let's listen to our second guest, Mr. Benedict. Share us your insights about this.
Hello again. Good evening to everyone. So, regarding with the postponement and let's say movement of the opening of classes based from DepEd, I mean, personally, from my personal experience, kasi, so let's say yes, we're in a private school system, no. And then, in the terms of the differences between the public and the private school system, it is quite noticeable that some private schools are already starting with their respective classes, right? And then with that, let's say that some teachers pa rin actually are not yet ready or capable of handling their classes, since I've already noticed some of the private schools are just using, of course, I will not mention na. They are starting using worksheets for their asynchronous classes. Instead of course, diba, we have told that in order for us to give the students optimal learning during their asynchronous class, we use modules. So with that particular issue, I think naman the DepEd as a greater reason, that's why they already moved the classes from August 24 to August 5. And then also with that, malaki rin yung ibibigay na time for the teachers, not just to sige, let's say na wait for a vaccine according to our president, but also to prepare in terms of their logistics in terms of their module printings, and also give time also for them to be ready in terms not just in terms of preparedness for their students as well as the preparedness for themselves, as of course they are the frontliners of our educational system, no. And back again sa private school system. So kami in terms of our in terms of our experience sa private school, we also moved. Pero not just like of the DepEd na move siya further October. Pero we just move from August 24 to September 7. Sa sa basic education department, which of course sa DepEd din hawak. And with that, I think naman mabibigyan din ang teachers a lot more time to prepare since, of course, private school. Knowing private schools, they already partnered with some third-party companies or let's say LMS to prepare also for their students' learning. And then when it comes naman to the college, according din naman kasi since yun nga, ipapasok ko na rin dito ang CHED. And nagbigay na rin ng statement si CHED Commissioner or Chairman si De Vera na sinasabi, yes, thank you. Sinasabi niya rin na the announcement of DepEd cannot really affect the CHED since knowing that CHED handles all the tertiary schools, especially college and universities, and meron pa tayong tinatawag na autonomy. Diba? Na a particular or a certain college or university has an autonomy to decide whether or not they will stop classes or they will continue. So yun nga, sinasabi lang doon na college or universities or yung tertiary education natin na tinatawag is depending on the Board of Trustees or the Board of Regents ng university. So yun lang. Bigay pa rin talaga ng time for our teachers to prepare.
Thank you very much, no. I just have a question. You said that i-move ng basic education ng school ninyo yung academic calendar from August 24 to September 9?
7.
September 7. Is your school, does your school have a legal basis on that? Kasi I think both public and private are both mandated to start their classes on October 5.
Okay, regarding that kasi, there's also a statement under, I think,
from the DepEd.
from the DepEd that schools already, ganito kasi, there are schools that already started their classes, right?
Yes.
August 3, actually, yan. May schools na August 3 na nag-start. So, sabi doon ni Dr. Briones na those particular schools can no longer halt their lessons. Kasi nga, yung drive din
na sila.
Yes. Ongoing
din yun. Ongoing, especially this particular week, starting August 17, this is their third week na, di ba? So with that, yun, hindi na pwedeng i-halt. And then, for the case of those private schools naman that are targeting to start their classes on August 24, ang sabi naman din doon ay they have also the discretion to start in August 24 if they are already capable or let's say ready na sila. And some schools can also start in that particular middle in the middle times here, in between August 24 or August 5.
Yeah, I think there was an official statement released a while ago or Friday.
Yeah, recently.
Yesterday, right.
Yeah.
Now there's the DepEd is allowing private schools to open their classes in an earlier time. They don't have to follow October 5, providing that the classes are only online or modular. So, bawal talaga yung face-to-face.
So that is exclusively for private schools.
Yes.
Yes.
Exclusively for private schools. They have the autonomy to open possibly at August 24 or even or earlier than October 5. At
Yes.
yung mga nakapag-umpisa na ng classes, they are going to continue na. They will not stop the classes na. Okay, clear tayo doon. For tertiary level kasi may mga tertiary institutions na nakapag-start and continuous na din ang classes nila. So thank you very much for that insight on both basic education and tertiary level, Mr. Benedict Menor. So we'll go to our...
Meron lang akong...
Yes.
Sir JD, meron lang akong questions. How about those schools na mga state university na merong basic education? Kailangan ba nilang i-follow yung university na memo o sa DepEd pa rin? For example, yung laboratory schools ng PNU, ng TUP, ng PUP, ano kaya din? Since ikaw ay from State U.
State U. Okay. So, basically, yung mga basic education like senior high schools na under ng isang academic institution na state university, they are still mandated to report under DepEd. Kasi sa division office pa rin nagre-report yan. Kasi may ang head ng senior high school, principal pa rin ang tawag sa kanya. Or senior high school coordinator na nakikipag-coordinate pa din sa division office ng DepEd. So, between the power of the university and the DepEd, the division office, mas mag-exceed si division office. Masuunahin ng tawag doon ng basic education ng senior high school ng lab schools yung mandate ng DepEd. Kasi still they are still under DepEd.
Basic education. Okay, so
basic
parang ang idea, since hanggang grade 12 ay under ng basic education, clear pa rin na dapat DepEd ang kanilang sinusunod na order kahit sila ay attached sa university.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, thank you, Sir JD.
Thank you. Any more clarifications or additions from our fellow educators? Let's go to our third guest. Okay. Our third guest, do you have any insights about the moving of classes? Miss Richalyn Manalang. Ongoing na po ba ang classes niyo, ma'am?
Yes. Before ako ma-admit sa school na yon, ongoing na siya. So, parang second date, mask na ako agad sa classes ng mga students. So, regarding sa opening ng classes, siguro taken from two views, sa public and then sa private. Focus muna natin yung public since yun yung mostly affected by the decision. I think it will be a good decision for public schools to move, pero hindi wise yung academic freeze. Kasi doon tayo after sa ligtas na pasok or ligtas na pasokan. And yung perks ng pag-move ng October 5 is of course for parents to be financially prepared since nasa MECQ tayo. Most of the parents don't have the capacity to provide the necessary gadgets na required for this online class. And then I also have neighbors who are parang struggling or still thinking as to how they can adapt with this new normal. So ayun nga, parang not just for teachers to prepare, but also for the parents para maging equipped sila. Waiting lang tayo na magkaroon sila ng pera. And then second, as for the teachers, we all know na may mga classmates tayo na nasa public school right now, and we are tawag dito, nakikita natin or nakaka-relate tayo na yung workloads nila are somehow heavy. Even yung weekends nila nakakain due to seminars and other meetings. And I think for those students who don't see the effort of the teachers too are struggling and we are adapting. So in this new normal schooling, talagang work hand in hand tayo na sana ma-appreciate ng mga other community yung nagagawang educational system natin. And then, another perks of moving the classes on October 5 is, I think, mas sa students naman siguro, kasi yung time na yon magkakaroon na sila ng initial thought or siguro mas ma-open up yung idea nila about this schooling. Mas magiging open sila sa idea ng online classes, mas magiging educated sila sa different mode na kayang ibigay ng DepEd. Na etong online class na to is not just to give burden, pero DepEd is providing them the best of best, katulad ng pagbibigay ng mga asynchronous blended learning. Ayun, so sana students also will adapt and then appreciate yung ginagawa ng educational system natin sa country. And then, taken from the private school, of course, push pa rin ako dun sa ongoing na proceed kung nasimulan na or not, since most of the private school are well equipped, and then the students also are, or the family of the students are somehow financially stable na. Kaya, if there is a mean, and then kayang i-provide ng school yung quality education, why not push for that one? Hindi naman natin pwedeng isaalang-alang yung quality, and then, or isaalang-alang yung time just because gusto nating isabay sa karamihan. So, ayun lang for me.
Miss Universe 2020, ang dating.
Yes, ang ganda ng sagot ni Risha. Nice answer. Can I add something to that? Honestly, kasi nagta-tracking ako ng mga this past few weeks, nagta-tracking ako ng mga students. So, I've been looking for them. And it's been quite a challenge because I'm handling incoming grade 11 students. So, hindi pa ako familiar sa kanila. So, I've been tracking them through phone. Tinatawagan ko sila and nagme-message ako sa kanila sa Facebook. And I can say that at least in my class, a lot of my students are still not prepared. Ang dami pa sa kanila na isa sa mga hinaing nila ay, "Sir, hindi pa kami nakakapagpakabit ng internet," or wala pa daw silang gadgets. So, I would just like to highlight dun sa sinabi ni Risha na, yes, honestly, it is a sigh of relief for the students. Kasi nga, some of the students, especially in the public school sector, are not yet prepared financially, in terms of their gadgets, in terms of their capabilities. Hindi pa sila prepared. And ang nakakalungkot lang kasi, some students are forced to enter online. Kasi 'di ba at the start of the earlier this month, around June, July, we had this survey sa mga enrollees na what modalities do you want to pursue? Or do you want modular? Do you want online? And then yung nangyayari kasi ngayon, most online students, nung nag-survey sila, online ang gusto nila. Kaso ngayon, parang nagbago yung isip nila na dahil nga wala silang means or hindi pa dumadating yung means nila, parang gusto nila lang mag-shift sa modular. But the problem is, hindi rin kasi lahat ng teachers pwedeng nasa modular modality kasi walang magtuturo dun sa online. And ang nangyayari ngayon, nagiging full pack na yung modular students. So there's a modular class in our school na 80 students. So hindi na kaya. So some of the students are really forced to enter online classes. And I think yung pag-move ng classes to October 5 would give them a larger window to prepare for mentally, emotionally, and of course yung materials na kailangan nila.
Thank you very much on addition. Any more additions?
May add lang ako about sa mention kanina ni Ma'am Risha about the benefits of moving the opening of classes from August 24 to October 5. So, well, tama naman yung mga binanggit na benefits ng pag-move sa side ng teachers, sa students, sa other stakeholders. Pero ang question kasi is, di ba, parang yung pag-move ba from August 24 to October 5 ay merong mga plan na gagawin, yung mga dapat ay merong ginagawa, like sa mga government departments. For example, sabi natin na para nga magkaroon ng time pa yung teachers para mag-prepare. So ano yung preparation na ginagawa ng DepEd and ng teachers prior sa opening ng classes sa October 5, continuous ang pag-printing ng modules, ganun lang ba yun? So parang hindi maa-address yung issue ng connectivity, yung issue ng delivery ng mga modules, yung issue ng yung mismong delivery ng lesson, 'di ba? Parang pinatagal lang siya pero wala namang gagawin doon sa mga ilang araw na sana may ginagawa. And pangalawa, yung financial capability of parents. So may point na makakapaghanda nga yung parents, pero kasi 'di ba hangga't increasing yung number of cases, hindi pa nga natin alam, baka sa next week na naman MECQ pa rin tayo. Ang dami pa rin walang trabaho. So paano makakapag-prepare yung mga parents para sa financial liabilities nila sa education ng mga anak nila? So parang kung walang gagawin yung government for that, yung pag-move ng klase ay wala din significance or wala siyang value kasi wala namang preparation in the middle. And lastly, yung pinaka-major concern natin lahat ay yung pandemic. Wala pa rin hanggang sa ngayon, wala pa rin namang strategic plan na nare-release yung DOH on how they will flatten the curve. So, parang problematic pa rin siya. Na pagdating na naman ng October 5, hindi pa rin ulit prepared. So, imumove na naman ba? So, parang yun lang yung questions ko. Magiging beneficial yung pag-move ng klase kung sana totoong nagpe-prepare yung lahat ng mga stakeholders na part ng education. So, yun lang yung nakita ko. Parang ewan ko, parang hindi siya benefits na na-move, pero parang for me, hindi talaga siya beneficial in reality. Sana nakuha niyo yung point ko.
Yes. Of course. Malaking malaking tanong din kasi talaga yan na yung readiness din ng government when it comes to pag minuban. Kasi tingnan mo na lockdown tayo na matagal na panahon, matagal na span, pero wala talaga pa rin tayong plano na naririnig, even specifically to education, hindi natin alam kung ano nga ba talaga ang entire plan ng basic education, although we are aware that they're updating us, but let's try to ask our basic education teachers kung ano nga ba may binaba na bang mandate sa inyo or planning for after nung sinabi na October 5 ang move ng class, October 5 na ang classes, ano gagawin niyo from August 24 to that span? Do you have anything in mind?
Currently, yes, naintindihan ko yung point ni Jerry and it's actually a good point. And currently, dahil bago yung announcement or recent yung announcement, wala pang specific or wala pang solid na directive on what's next. So, parang ang nangyayari ngayon is just continue.
Excuse me lang, Sir Randolph, no? Na-mention mo na wala pa rin, as of now, wala pa rin na-release
as of now,
specific directives from the DepEd. Pero, ang parang, kung pag-iisipan natin, nagkaroon ng recommendation ng August 6 according sa DepEd. So, ibig sabihin, sa recommendation, walang plan. Kasi hanggang ngayon ay hindi ma-release. Diba? Parang kung yun yung August 6 pa nila yun, pinasa yung recommendation, dapat may plan din doon.
Yes.
So, dapat, nung pagkalabas ng announcement na i-move na yung klase, dapat kasunod yun, nilabas yung plan.
Yes.
Hindi magtatagal ng ilang araw pa para saka ilabas ulit yung plans. So, medyo weird lang yung part na yun.
Yeah, actually, yun din yung iniisip ko. So, I can't really say kung ano na nga bang nangyayari. Medyo nagkakawalaan kasi ng medyo nawawala yung transparency. Kasi if ever nga na ganon, like, nirecommend nila and sana nga may action plan. Yes, I get your point na sana sinabi nila agad. And I hope there are steps kasi currently wala pang directives na lumalabas. I don't know, maybe it's because the weekend and walang government office hours. So I don't know. I hope tomorrow ay magbaba sila ng directives on what we're going to do. Kasi as of now, wala pang directives na binibigay. So parang ang nangyayari, continue lang doon sa unang utos nila. So we honestly, we're frozen right now. Madaming teachers ang hindi alam ang next step kung anong gagawin. So, I hope tomorrow mag-release ang central office or ang regional office ng directives kung anong mangyayari.
Yes, let's give them then the benefit of the doubt na baka binababa pa sa levels of organization. But you're definitely right, Jerry, na dapat pagkasabi ng recommendation, kasabay nun, kakambal nun, is yung plan. Kung ano nga bang gagawin ng ating mga teachers. Kasi right now, they are making modules. Continuous pa rin ba ang paggawa ninyo ng modules?
Yes, continuous pa rin ang everything.
Kasi, di ba kung makikita natin sa announcements coming from DepEd, atat na talaga silang mag-start. Pero, I'm talking about the educational leaders, mga nasa taas. So, kung parang pag sa mga interviews nila, sobrang atat na sila mag-opening ng klase, pero wala ngang directives pa pala na binibigay. So, ang next question ko lang kay Sir Randolph, since ikaw ay nasa public school, kung ang bata ay pumili ng synchronous, or nung online education, tapos may pumili ng module, yung teacher ba, kasi diba parang may mga sectioning na nire-release sa Facebook, may mga teachers na meron na silang list of students, gano'n. So let's say, 10 doon gusto online education, then yung 15 doon gusto ay modular learning. Ikaw pa rin may hawak niyan.
Kasi,
isang teacher lang siya.
Well, I could only speak for yung sa school namin kasi dahil nga school-based management tayo, hindi ko alam kung ano yung ginagawa ng ibang schools. Pero ang nangyayari kasi sa amin ay dumoble lahat ng sectioning namin. Like for example, meron kaming GAS 11 A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, A, B, and C puro sila online. And then si D, E, and F, puro sila purely modular. So, ang nangyari sa amin, hinati yung faculty in terms dun sa percentage ng modular and online students. So, there are teachers who are purely teaching modular and there are teachers who are purely teaching online. So, ganun yung nangyayari sa amin. Separate ang section ng online students sa modular students. So sa ibang school, di ko alam kung ano ang ginagawa nila kasi dahil nga SBM, school-based management, iba-iba rin ng directives, kumbaga nasa discretion ng principal kung anong gagawin.
So yung sectioning na lumalabas sa mga FB posts ng ilang teachers natin na naghahanap ng students, identified na kung sila ay modular o kaya online. Kasi di ba parang sabi mo nga, mostly.
Most likely.
Okay. So para isang teacher, online lang siya or kaya modular. Yun lang yung nahawakan. Hindi pwedeng isang teacher nag-online siya at the same time nag-modular din.
Yun yung
Yun yung pinaprevent.
Yun yung iwasan ng division namin, yung division ng Bacoor na parang ayaw nilang mangyari na si teacher ay online and then modular kasi nga according doon sa aming SDS suicide nga din naman sa part ni teacher kung siya ay mag-online at saka ay modular. Pero ang doon, yung online teachers gumagamit din sila ng modules na ibibigay ni DepEd. It's just that yung delivery ng lesson and then yung pag-submit ng requirements is through online. Pero the activities, the lessons are still based on the module.
Okay. Sige, Sir Randolph, meron pa akong questions about that later. Pero proceed muna tayo sa next guest natin para magbigay ng information or ng insights niya regarding opening of classes.
Okay, so
Yes.
let me introduce our recent guest. Kakasali niya lang.
Let's introduce our fourth guest, special guest,
Yes,
Mr.
the very
JC.
vivacious, very enthusiastic JC Danilo. Kakasali niya lang po a while ago. So, Mr. JC, please share us your insights.
Ayun lang. So far, kahit nakikinig lang ako sa inyo, gustong-gusto ko yung mga sinasabi niyo. So talagang
JC, sorry to interrupt you.
Ano yan?
Nagtuturo ka pa rin ngayon?
Yeah. Private.
Nakala ko
Ongoing kayo?
Ka na eh.
No. Okay, so sige.
Ongoing kayo, JC?
No.
Tell us something about your
may
school.
specific question ba kayo?
What is your insight about moving the classes from August 24 to October 5? And also share us something about your school, your preparations, kung meron.
Okay. Sige, yung sa school muna namin. Okay, so definitely, dapat August 25 din kami. Okay, mag-i-start. But, since naglabas ng memo si Depador ng announcement last Friday, we're not sure yet. For sure, nagmi-meeting yung admin namin since nung kahapon or even now, even this day, kung ano bang magiging plans. Kasi for sure, as kaming teachers and parents, magtatanong, ipa-follow ba namin siya no October 5 or no? So, yun. Wala pa kaming idea if mag-open din ba kami ng October 5 or earlier this September. Okay, and then, merong 2 tracks na i-offer ang school namin. The first one is purely online. So, lahat na mag-enroll sa amin, pag yun yung pinili nila, from first to third grading, or kumbaga for the whole academic year, online yon. Okay, and then yung second track naman is blended learning. So, first grading, online. Second and third grading, depends upon the situation. Baka kung papayagan na mag-face-to-face, mag-face-to-face kami or modular. So, yun yung plans na nilatag nung admin ng school namin. And then, we were using Canvas as our LMS. And we're actually started our training about that. And just wanna share with you that I have fun and I find it very powerful tool and sobrang ganda niya. Parang siya, all-in-one package LMS. I really like it. Kasi nung na-test... Yes.
Sir JC, may I know kung ano yung official platform na gagamitin ng school niyo for your opening for this school year?
Anong official platform?
Online platform.
Canvas.
Let's say Canvas.
Yun, Canvas.
Canvas. Sa inyo, Ma'am Risha?
Kami, Zoom and then Google Classroom.
Okay.
Yeah. Yung third grading kasi namin, itong recently, yun, Zoom din kami sa Google Classroom. Kasi sobrang limited niya talaga. So, and then, ano pa ba? Plans ng school namin. Actually, this upcoming October 22 and 23, magkakaroon kami ng virtual graduation. Okay, from the kinder or the preparatory. Yeah, for the last school year. From prep to college 'yon. Yeah, senior siya, virtual. And then ano pa bang plans sa school? Ayun, to increase na din yung promotion ng school saka yung enrollees. This summer medyo busy din kami from June to July. May mga free kami online classes like tutorial, advanced class, and college entrance review. So actually mag-i-start yung schedule ko for 2 days. I'm gonna teach the upcoming grade 12 students who will gonna take their college entrance test review maybe on the 4 top universities. So I will be teaching them syempre yan. And then ano pa ba? Ayun,
So,
even mga
JC,
Chinese,
how's,
mga
ano,
Chinese classes, meron. Yes.
Sir JC,
How's
how's the
that?
number of enrollment sa school niyo? Kamusta? Kasi parang, 'di ba,
Ah,
may news na marami daw students from private school ang nag-transfer muna sa public
To
school.
public, oo nga.
Mm. Kamusta? Kamusta naman
in
sila? And
terms,
even kila Ma'am Risha mamaya. Sagutin siya.
okay, in terms of the number, I'm not yet sure kasi walang sinasabi si school sa amin kung kamusta ba yung number of enrollees namin. Pero ang binibigay lang na feedback is madaming natutuwang parents dun sa mga lahat ng binibigay ni in-offer ni school ng mga free summer classes and whatsoever. And madami naman kasing parents sa amin na sa talaga sila, committed sila and talagang sa school nila gustong pag-aaralin yung anak nila. May mga konti na nag-transfer ako. I have my students last year na nanghingi pa nga ng recommendation pero iilan-ilan lang. And even pag nag-Zoom meeting kami ng mga students ko kahit wala ng klase, most of them naman na naka-enroll naman sa school namin. So, yeah.
I see.
Ayun.
At saka big school din kasi yung school mo
Big
kaya
school.
expected na talagang kaya nilang magbigay
Oo,
ng facilities at the same time kaya rin ng students na i-avail kahit medyo mahal pa rin ang tuition
Yeah.
fee.
Matagal na din kasi yung school eh. Yeah, sige.
Oo.
I'm sorry.
How about kila Risha? Sige.
I think the underlying reason behind kung bakit ang daming nagda-transfer from private to public is parang yung their parents na parang ayaw nilang gumastos ng tuition kasi nga hindi naman daw napapakinabangan yung facilities.
Oo. Yun
Kaya,
din yung concern nung third grading eh. Kasi naka-online lang kami.
Dapat may mga bawas yung ano. But
Yeah,
actually,
nangingi sila ng
uh,
refund.
ang mga school naman nag-provide ng discount, I think. Some of the private schools has provided discount. Nag-provide kayo ng discount.
Yeah, and
Let's
Mga
address
How
this
about
question
kila
to
Ma'am
Risha.
Risha?
The number of now enrollees status.
Kasi since ako, bago lang ako doon, so hindi ko
Sige.
masyadong makita yung difference between the number of enrollees. Pero according to them naman, mababa yung enrollees from 5,000, naging 3,000 ata yung number of enrollees lang nila. And
40% ang lumipat.
Oo. Tapos, yun nga, regarding sa lessening of students, kasi may mga private school na, yes, as a teacher, and then yung kapatid ko nasa private schools. So, naintindihan ko yung wala masyadong decrease in terms of tuition fee kasi nga, binabayaran yung platform. Pero pagdating naman sa mga, yun nga, siguro to lessen din yung expenses ng mga parents na nasa private school. In terms of books, medyo off lang din ako doon. Like, yung price ng e-book to the hard ones, hindi ganun kalaki yung discount. Given na e-book na siya already, so medyo mabigat pa rin yun para sa parents. And then, according doon sa school na yun, books are going to be used kasi doon magsusulat and then pipicturean ng student. And then, if ganun din yung case, why not the school could have just provided worksheet na soft copy. And this can lessen the burden ng financially for the parents, di ba? Parang if we could lessen pa, kung kaya naman i-work ng school, why not? Parang yun lang for parents and na nagpapara sa private schools.
Tama naman, may point.
Yes.
How about
Ang
you?
ano naman,
ano yan?
How about you, Benedict? How's your status, yung student enrollment dyan sa school mo?
Okay, in terms naman sa enrollees, well, yung school namin, which is St. Bernadette College of Alabang, hindi siya ganun ka-big school in terms of the population when it comes to the basic education sa, yun nga, from K to 10 actually, which is actually parang baliktad siya kasi when it comes naman to the senior high population, dun medyo marami. Since yung school namin offers 3 strands, 3 ba? Gas, ABM, and then ano ba isa?
STEM.
Yeah,
Or
hindi, wala kami STEM. Yung
Humes.
yan, tatlo pala. Gas, ABM and UMS. Then yun, parang around one strand, around 30 to 40 students. And also meron akong na-receive na news na some of students from the public school is nag-enroll sa amin. Siguro kasi kasama na rin din sa
from public to public to your school.
Oo. Meron kaming natanggap na gano'n na nag-enroll sila sa amin. Siguro based na rin siguro sa ESC program ng school na may nagbibigay kasi dito na scholarship. For example, yung ganon. Aside pa dun sa sa voucher. Parang ganon na for example, if you are incoming senior high school from grade 10 ka from the public school, you will be given a full government subsidy ng tuition fee.
Okay. Wait, I have a question. Anong online platform ang gamit nyo?
Okay, so for our online platform, we are using the Vibal's V-Smart School. So V-Smart School and also with the V-Smart School LMS. So if you are already aware yung pinag-attend na natin before na mga webinars, which is yung V-Smart Courseware. So isa siyang parang branch ng V-Smart School actually. So yun, parang halo na siya ng asynchronous and synchronous na modes. Meron doon yung parang video conferencing na parang Zoom, and then meron na rin siyang modular type ng lesson. Ang lang namin doon as teachers, we cannot have physical books na ibibigay ng Vibal. So, lahat siya e-books, especially to students daw. Hindi pa sure kasi we are already contacting the Vibal that, of course, we must have physical books pa rin in order for us to teach.
So, yes.
Binabayaran ng students yung as part of their tuition fee, yung platform na yan.
I think actually I'm not very aware about the tuition fee of our students, pero I think it is already included sa tuition fee ng bata.
Okay. So I think since i-move ang classes from August 24 to October 5, I think it's a good thing na pag-isipan din ng mga nasa position ang platforms na gagamitin ng mga DepEd teachers ng basic education, kasi I think walang specific online platform ang mga basic ed teachers. As you have mentioned kanina, school-based management, depende kung anong platform ang gagamitin ni teacher or ng school. So sana mapag-isipan din ni DepEd yun na ma-uniform kung ano man yung platform na gagamitin for online and para din sa modules, no? Yung mode of delivery, I think it would be better kung pag-iisipan din nila kung paano nila ipapadala yung mga modules and hindi actual teachers yung mag-aabot, kasi it will be really tough kung ang teachers pa ang mag-aabot. Okay? Do you have any more questions?
Wait, I would just like to add
addition?
something. I think that would be a very good idea, yung magkaroon ng isang centralized platform, yung public school system. Kasi ang isa sa mga challenges na kinakaharap namin ngayon is like, dahil nga nakadepende kay teacher kung anong platform ang kanyang gagamitin, medyo mahirapan si student. Kasi palipat-lipat na, for example, Google Meet, and then lilipat sa Zoom, and then Google Meet ulit, and then the others. So, I think that would be very beneficial. Luckily, sa school namin, meron kasi kaming isang teacher doon na magaling siya mag-program. I think he's developing a localized LMS for our school, but that's still in the development phase.
So, Randolph, hindi ba pwedeng gamitin LMS ang DepEd Commons? Ano bang meron doon? Or mga references?
Ang DepEd Commons kasi, it's more like parang G Drive. Ganon. So, lang siya, kuhaan lang siya ng references Like mag-upload yung yung teachers doon ng example curriculum guide, yung mga teaching guide, modules, ganon. And then the students could also access some of it, ganon. So it's not really a online teaching platform. It's more of a parang Google Drive, parang taguan ng files.
So mahalaga talaga na pag-isipan din ng nasa administration yung gagamiting LMS ng mga bata. Isa to sa mga pwede nilang pag-isipan since minove naman nila ang academic calendar from October 5. No? Any more comments or suggestions na gusto nyong iparating sa kinauukulan? Kung sino man ang mga pwedeng makarinig ng ating usapan, mga kapwa-guro? Let's start with our first guest, Mr. Jerry Pineda.
Siguro, yung question na lang ng quality education for the new normal. As a teacher, syempre, happy ako and proud sa mga co-teachers natin na talagang they are doing their best para maging, para may tuloy yung education. Kasi, syempre, sa perspective ng teachers, ayaw natin ng academic fees. I mean, since our goal is to continue educating the students, as much as possible, ayaw sana natin ang academic grades. Pero since yung mga limitations, yung iba, yung option din. Pero in terms of quality kasi, parang mamimili na lang ba tayo? Parang kailangan lang bang mairaos yung year na to, yung academic year na to? Or we will still push with quality education. So yun yung isa sa parang, though I don't need the specific answer, pero yung isa sana question sa ating mga teachers, pag-isipang mabuti kung ang idea ba nila ng online education for the new normal para mahiraos lang or still gusto nila ng quality education. So, yun yung parang question ko na parang mag-self-reflection yung mga teachers.
Yes, thank you. So that is addressed to our, of course, organization leaders and to our teachers since sila yung nag-i-implement ng ituturo nila, no? Next po to Mr. Benedict Menor.
Additional din doon sa sinabi ni Sir Jerry. Yes, kudos to our teachers and also to our educators that of course we should push education in amidst of our pandemic na kasi some people advocate for an academic freeze, which is of course it is a big no for us. Even though that we have a pandemic in our right now, of course we must continue in studying. Of course, given na yun na hindi siya perfect, hindi siya ganun kalinaw, pero yun nga, that's why we urge all the stakeholders, which of course consists of parents, students, and our teachers to cooperate and also be a part of this particular let's say it's kind of a revolution now since of course we are transitioning from the traditional face-to-face into an online setting, or of course hindi naman lahat tayo online. So, ODL na lang natin, distance learning na lang natin tatawagin, no? So, yun. And also, for the last statement. So, yes, according na yun, kasama na siya na it is an unprecedented situation. And then, of course, as teachers, which is also part of us are being versatile about it, no? So yun, again, kudos for us and to all of the educators and teachers out there.
Yes, thank you. No, education has to continue, but then again, we still have to consider all stakeholders. And okay, let's hear a comment and closing statement from our Miss Universe 2020, Miss Rishaline Manalang. Ma'am?
Maingay pa daw. Sige, ako na lang muna.
Let's go to our, alam mong iksi na sagot niya kanina, Mr. JC Estudio.
Kasi kung saan napunta, di ba? Nagtanong si tatay eh.
Okay, si JT muna. Closing statements or any comments or calls to our...
Share your insight kasi nawala eh.
Ano?
Ikaw muna bago tayo finish.
Sige, siguro na lang, message for us teachers. Since na wala tayong maasahang masyadong malinaw na plano from the upper, and whatever happens at the end, tayo din naman yung haharap sa mga students, sa mga parents. So, siguro as teachers, gamitin na lang natin yung time, kahit kung kailan man yung pasok talaga, September, October, or whatsoever, mamove man yan o hindi, to prepare ourselves and everything that we need. Modules, worksheets, whatsoever, invest ourselves in learning the different platforms, different medias, paano mag-record, paano gawin to, whatsoever. Kasi, di ba, lahat naman ng ginagawa natin is bago. Di ba? Tulad na nung sinabi ninyo kanina, medyo nakakaano lang na hindi kasi nakikita nung mga students or other people yung mga preparations na ginagawa natin as teachers. Kaya akala nila wala tayong ginagawa or they just taking it for granted. Pero kung siguro the best thing to do is ipakita na lang natin na they are wrong, na ipakita natin na pag nag-start na yung classes, kahit dry run man yan, siguro dun pa lang ibigay natin yung best natin and ipakita natin the good thing to combat them na hindi mali sila, na such a fool kung ano mang gusto nilang mangyari sa buhay. Okay, so yun lang. As teachers, let's prepare ourselves the best that we can.
Yes, okay. So, like the Asgardians, we must always prepare, train ourselves, teachers. Kasi ang pagtuturo ay parang nasa gera. Hindi natin alam, no? Itong pandemyang ito hindi natin inasahan. So to our last, okay, to our very beautiful Miss Universe 2020 na po. Any closing statements, Ma'am Risha?
For closing, ayun lang, since
or message sa mga bata,
since
sa mga nasa
again, so since as a 21st century naman tayo, one of the skills we must develop is the ability to adopt and then flexible. So for teachers, of course, ang advocacy natin is no teachers left behind. So sa lahat ng seminars and then sa lahat na nagpapa-seminar, we are very much thankful kasi you're giving us insights as to how we can teach and then to have good pedagogy during this crisis. Just like what one of our kasama here right now, the Project Kila, na nakakatuwa talaga. Nanood din ako kahapon. Nakakatuwa siya kasi the teacher itself are very entertaining. And then, for students naman, syempre, magtiis-tiis din at mag-adapt-adapt. Pare-pareho tayong nahihirapan. Kaya, wag tayong magsisihan. Kaya, we heal as one, then we learn as one. Yun lang.
We heal as one and learn as one. Pang Miss Universe.
It's a very good answer from our Miss Universe. Okay.
So we are very honored to have all of you guys, mga fellow teachers and colleagues, to having us sa pagpapaunlak sa amin. And hopefully yung mga napag-usapan natin ay maranig at makarating sa ating mga kinauukulan sa mga kapwa-guro at sa mga estudyante. Kasi malaking hamon talaga sa atin ngayon, no, ang education. Paano natin may susulong ang edukasyon sa gitna ng pandemya. So, may mga gusto po bang mag-plug ng kanilang mga YouTube channels?
Okay, if you want to learn something about science, so I will planning to make a YouTube channel called Sir Denny Teaches. So Teachz siya. So Tisha, Let's talk different topics about science. Actually, gagamitin ko siya sa platform for my asynchronous classes. So, yun lang.
Thank you, Miss Risha, Sir JC, Ma'am Sir Jerry. So, thank you po muli sa ating mga guest. Muli, nagpapasalamat kami sa aming mga guests, special guests. Sir Jerry Pineda, Ma'am Rachelyn Manalang, Sir Benedict Manor, and Sir JC Estunilio. Thank you very much po sa pagpapaunlak sa Tara. Usap tayo. Muli ako po si JD.
And ako si Randolph. Maraming salamat at magandang gabi. Bago pala tayo mag-end, gusto ko lang i-announce na ang Tara Usap Tayo ay meron ng Facebook group. Ngayon, kung kayo ay walang Spotify or kayo ay hindi maka-access sa Anchor, dinadala namin ngayon ang podcast sa Facebook para mas maraming maabot ito. Okay, so maraming salamat ulit at magandang gabi.